You can tell, but look at those roots. Huge corners of the house. See the original colour of the stone. Yet you've got huge trees growing right through, which again makes me feel miserable. We pop over to this section here. We did find these rather interesting curved pieces. There's another one down here, but it really is buried in crap. And you can just make out the corner. I am not sure, but I believe that they could be parts of the corbel window from the boudoir, which would have been pretty much just up there. I think there's probably more down here, but until I've cut back, which it takes up 99.9% of my energy levels, by the way. I mean, there are more traces under here of things I've never seen before. Ugh. Put my book down. Traces of brickwork. I don't know what, but that's waiting to be uncovered. And then if we pop over here, my partner has kindly swept the conservatory floor for me. Which is great, because if we keep on top of this, oh, you've done a really good job. Thank you. It does get covered in leaves. I can't wait till autumn. It'll be completely covered. Obviously this was the glass house. But you can really see the detail. And when it rains, this pink is really pink. I mean, it's weathered, it's cracked, the tree roots are pushing through. It won't be here forever, but this is the mosaic centerpiece, which looks like fruit. Beautiful. Big chunks missing. God only knows why. Hopefully people haven't been taking souvenirs. This is a part that we started to uncover. This was the doorway to the terrace. Now again, I'm going to try and look for a picture this time. God damn it. If I'd have been more organised. Oh well, that'll have to do. We'll work off the floor plan. There you go. So that's this section here. It was the doorway that led to the terrace. And we've basically dug out this section here. We can't move those pillars, they're too big. This was all covered in soil for don't know how many years. That slab is where the door would have opened up to the terrace. We are wanting to do a bit more digging here and try and pull that out. That little hole is where the door would have locked into place, and we managed to uncover the footings in this section that still remain. I mean, the wall, there was actually a little wall that came up a little bit further than it is now that would have gone all the way around. It would have followed, and the glass house basically sat on top of the wall. I did try and dig to find terrace floor. I can't find it. Now, that's quite a big hole that I dug. I don't believe it went down further than that. So I'm wondering whether or not parts of the terrace were actually gravel. I really don't know. I mean, it wasn't a terribly wide terrace because the wall is there, the ivy wall. But you definitely used to be able to walk out of that doorway onto the terrace and then walk all the way along. So God only knows. Another piece of carved stone. Lots and lots of glass. Found a piece there that I've not seen before. I'll keep hold of that. I told you I was a weirdo. Okay, just pop that with our stuff and we shall walk over here to the orangery. Potting shed. There would have been a wall with windows that ran along here and one on the other side that formed the orangery. The potting shed only came up to the end of the billiard room, so my reckoning is somewhere here, and there would have been a doorway that led out to a pathway that led along the side of Titus's turning room. Now I'm going to just pop the camera down and place you there for a second while I do find a picture of what I'm talking about, because you really are not going to be able to visualise unless you know the site well. Oh, that was the door we were just talking about from the glass house to the terrace. Just so you know. Okay, that's not a bad picture. So if we try this one. That was basically the potting shed, Titus's turning room, and there's a little wall right on the outside, which if we shimmy round, the size of that tree, bloody hell. If you come to this tombstone of a slab of concrete, now on the floor plan, if I can find the floor plan, there it is. We are basically, where am I? I'm getting lost. There you go. Focus. There's a set of steps on the outside of what would have been the turning room. Just there. I believe that that is what is under there. I will get a torch and have a look under here, but this first section here on the outer is original. That slab on top, which isn't terribly thick, has been laid on afterwards. Now I think it was Alan that told me that the Roberts did some rejigging of the house when they took tenure of a property. Could only assume that they had that laid over. So, well, you can still see the outline of the wall there. Bloody hell. Yeah. So this little area here would, I presume, have been his WC, his little loo. Because that is on the corner there. I know you can't read the text, but you can see the outline. And you can see the little outline of the wall. So we are now in his turning room, which... where the hell has that come from? I didn't notice that here before. And trust me, I've been here enough times to That big slab of concrete there. Where's that come from? Somebody else has been pissing about here. It's mine, it's all mine. Maybe off of this section here, it really looks like it. Now, was that the original floor? The house would have been quite high, wouldn't it? You'd have been stood quite high in the rooms. I'm guessing that that would have been the original floor. It's quite thick concrete if you look at it. And then there's this underneath. Obviously the cellars would be under there somewhere. And we can see the dividing wall between the billiard room and his turning room. And you can definitely see the bricks are still in place. We would now be in the billiard room, which doesn't look very big for a billiard room. But all that rubble slid down, so it's disguising, it's very deceptive. Oh, just walk through a cobweb. Get off me. So, pop up here. This is the original inner wall of the house. All this would have been billiard room. And as we all know, this is where he sadly died. Somewhere in this room. And we've had lots of debate about this, whether or not that this was part of his fireplace. It really looks like the top of the mantle to me. It really does. It's not marble. Not that I can tell. It's definitely stone. Apparently his fireplace was white marble in the billiard room. And I'm wondering if that was true. That does look like the top of the fireplace. And it's in the correct location. The fireplace would have been around here somewhere. This is the back of the room. More pieces of curved carved stone, which would have probably come from the archway, the doorway at the top of the orangery, I would have thought. So we were in the orangery, which incidentally had iron grates fitted that slotted into this groove that runs either side, therefore allowing for plant roots to grow underneath. This was allegedly Titus Jr.'s experimental room for him to grow his experimental plants in, because they were planting troughs on either side. It looks like an interesting piece. What is this? That's rounded. And you can actually see grooves. It's just been weather beaten. That's off the roof. You can still see some of the metal, I've forgotten what you call it now. You know what I mean. Metal flashing. Right, back up here. So where we did some excavations, if you can call it that. Ah, the spiders have gone. God. Look at the colour of that stone. Look at the colour. It's completely dry now, so it's, you know, compared to the exposed parts, these have been buried for about 70 years. This section's been, well, it was only the top section that was actually stuck out the ground. You can see how it changes colour slightly. We've dug this out. There are more pieces here. They would have formed the arch that would have popped up from this place and gone all the way over to match up with the other side. I think the demolition men got lazy by the time they got to this point of the house. Thank God. At least there's something here. More stone blocks that we've pulled out. And then there were huge spiders on here last week. Oh, I can see one. Just saw it move. There's quite a big gap down there, by the way. Some voids. So everything's collapsed into the orangery doorway, but this led to the house. See more gaps down there. But it really is like spider central around here, and they're big black mofos as well, and I really don't know what species they are. God, I'm terrified of nothing except spiders. Why did I have to get involved in something like this? This is the opening to the billiard room. So we are, get my finger, you best try and put the book down, huh? We are here. That doorway there is the doorway to the billiard room. Now, I did see on one of David Bottomley's videos that this brickwork actually did come up to here, and some sod has either stolen it or just kicked it down, which again really pisses me off. It was basically a really good preserved corner there, and a lot of it's gone missing, but you can see the cutout. So this would have been the path that Titus travelled into his billiard room. As I've mentioned before, you can see the masculine coloured brickwork, which incidentally gets darker the further you go down. It's not been weathered, so it would have been more of a navy. Oh, yeah, let's try and rebuild the house, huh? Well, that's ever going to happen. There's more there, honestly. Just leave our house alone. Okay, so back here, this interior wall was the hallway that led from the orangery into the house, and basically the wrong way around, so we'll nip round. So orangery, doorway, hallway, which led my double archway into the drawing room, which you can still see some of the outer wall. Obviously the bay window would have been over there. I'm going to try and find you another picture. It should be easier this time, of what this room looked like, because there are some interesting features which I am dying to know whether or not they're still here. I've got one there, but I do have a better one. What to do? Let's have a look. So this was the drawing room. So we are basically stood where the light is coming in under that first arch. That was the doorway to the orangery. So that little wall that you can see on the inside is basically that wall. So if I come over here, sort of, there's nowhere really that I can stand without dying. But basically, how many times have I said basically in this video? I don't know. This wall was that wall underneath, and there would have been a double archway and pop down into the drawing room. Okay, there would have been a fireplace somewhere here, that fireplace, and then looking over here to where that wall is was basically that double archway, and that pillar, you can't really see it in the photograph, but there was a Shakespearean relief holding up the top of that ceiling. Now the ones in the hallway were still in place up until demolition, so one would presume that that one would be here as well, and it could well be buried under all this. It just looks like a scary mess now. Ivy has just taken complete control, which I've been trying to tackle, and it ain't easy. A window or door lintel, can't move that. So that would have been the hallway that led over here somewhere, and then would have popped out over here. Whoop. And look how high this is. Everything is just buried underneath all of this. Ooh, some more green slate there. It was Whitland Abbey green slating. Again, rubble everywhere, but you can make out interior walls still in place. So if we pop down here to where the main hall would have been, and walk around slightly. So we reckon, where am I? You do get disorientated, it's horrible. Main porch, vestibule, and we are now inside the hallway. And these are some pieces that we dug out last week, partially. These, I believe, are window lintels from the triple windows in the hallway. You can still see the glass. More corner pieces. Another piece there. Another piece there. I mean, it really is tantalising. There is so much. If we come down to ground level and just look at how high it goes in places. This is clearly where the bulldozer came through the library. And then into associated rooms on this side. There are huge pieces of guttering. Another spider web, great. God, I'm going to be crawling by the time I've finished. These pieces have got to be from the tower, possibly the quarter chiming clock tower. More top pieces. Ooh, one of my favourite pieces, and I really can't place it. I do not know. I know there is another one over in that direction, but where they came from on the house I have no idea. And then this interesting sort of, I'm wondering if this was this spot that the tower stood. I mean, I really don't know, but look at some of these pieces. I mean, wow. I mean, you can see the grooves. This was not a cheap house. This cost a fortune. That was a bit more open last week when we came. Someone's actually pushed rubble down there, obviously to stop anyone from getting down into the basement, which is fair enough. But you know, when they start coming and damaging pieces of stone, not great, is it? I mean, you can see where they've broken it by lobbing it about. That's clearly a part of some arch or something. God knows why that's over here. But, ooh, more cellars. Grim. Not my cup of tea at all. Spider Central. interesting round pieces. So we're heading towards the kitchen wing now. But like I say, you do get disorientated. It's either a window, lintel, probably a door, I would have said. But it's got a top step. So yeah, we are domestic now. This was the edge of the house. As it met up with the domestic wing. Like I said before, there is a staircase under there that leads down to the kitchen wing. I can only imagine what is buried under here. And we arrive back at that cellar entrance. So yeah, there you have it. A grand, beautiful architectural house from the 1800s, pulled down and left in a heap. Thanks very much, council members. Whoever decided that deserves a medal, not. Right, I'm going to go and get stuck in. Just going to walk around this section. Whoa, look at that. Guttering perhaps, who knows. Huge, huge. Back to the turning room. Floor. Yeah, every time I come here I find something different. And more glass. And weird looking trees. Okay, well, let's just have a little peek at the original Milner field, shall we? Before I go. Well, this house dates back apparently to the 1600s and was the original Milner field. Note that beautiful piece. It's probably part of one of the pillars that I'm going to show you. Ooh, steep embankment. More cobwebs. There we go. The steps to the original Milner field, dating back to the 1600s and possibly even earlier. That mansion house, or manor, would have been right there. Obviously, it wasn't in very good condition apparently, so Titus had it demolished when he built his new house and turned this into a croquet lawn. Here's the original outer wall, which came all the way down to the corner. And again, as I said before when I came in here, it runs all the way down. Well, apparently this house had quite a long and distinguished life, and that it's ended up. All that's left of the front steps and the boundary wall is quite sad, really. We did clean these up, we did pull all the ivy out. I did search for the huge stone pillars and ball finials, but they're nowhere to be seen. I have been informed that one of the balls is actually down by where the boating lake used to be, which is quite a distance. I could only imagine that someone thought it was fun to roll it down there, but that is the remains of one of the capstones from the pillars. And I should, from what I've seen in the pictures, at the top of that capstone would have been the ball finial. But yeah, it's quite sad that this is all that's here, even though it is still beautiful. And it is quite remarkable. And this place is absolutely gorgeous. And you can just imagine that back in the 1800s when he built his new house, there were no cars, there were no aeroplanes, there were no houses around this site. This literally was a country house, a country estate. You must have been able to hear a pin drop, which incidentally is how I like it. I'm not really cut out for modern day society. I think I was born way too late. Who knows? Maybe this was my house once, and this is why I'm so weirdly obsessed. Really, really hard to get your bearings, but if you stand down here and look up, they didn't destroy everything. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed my first vlog. Hopefully I don't have any issues with sound. And we'll be back here again soon.